based in Bangalore, India, and I'm gonna show you some of the features of Logic X, the new Apple Logic X, from perspective of sound engineer, because I am a sound engineer and I've been doing various mixes, film mixes, and also TVCs and mixing and mastering songs on the Logic 9 and 8. Before that, successfully for last 5 years now, and I feel these are really brilliant programs, one of the best out there. They have some of the best inbuilt effects too, and nice features for even doing sound design. Now I've got the new Logic X. Without wasting time, I'll just dwell into the screen. I've taken the same loop in Logic 9 and the same loop in Logic X. Wow. Now there's a very big difference in the thought I'd let you know. These are basic differences, but there is a very big difference in the waveform view of Logic X and Logic 9. Here in the Logic 9, we could just see the left side of even a stereo waveform. This is a stereo file, as you can see here, and we could see the left section of that waveform, whereas in the Logic X here, you can see the Logic X, you can see the stereo file as a whole, I mean the left and right sections, which is very useful for me as or for anyone for that matter, as sound designers, and also while mixing and mastering songs. If you can identify the left stereo file from a mono file, it becomes visually very easy. Now there are some new things in the Logic X which I would like to dwell into. So one great addition, I would just like to highlight the important additions. There are lots more features which I don't have time to get into, but now the mixer section. Now mixer section has been radically changed, even as far as the look is concerned, but from various points of view there are three things which I would like to highlight here. So if I go into the mixer of my Logic 9 here versus the X, there are many things which have changed, but one major thing from the look, apart from the look, the faders are better. But if you see here the operating levels as far as the metering was concerned, I would like to highlight that is one important point which has changed from a sound engineer's point of perspective, because usually when I'm multi-tracking 50 or 100 tracks in a film or maybe a song, my operating levels are not more than -9 or -12 for an individual track. This becomes a big headache because the metering gear is a bit clustered around that area, I feel. Now they've highlighted this section from -6 to -1, which is not always the operating level, or maybe never the operating level when I'm multi-tracking or doing complex sections. Whereas Logic X, they fixed this problem quite well. They've given, I think, much more professional quality metering than the 9. So here you have nicely your laid out levels till the -9 dB mark, which are your usual operating levels always. And then you can see them here much more clearly, and when as your level starts speaking. So this most of you will know that this is a much more better metering than the 9 itself. There are some icons here also, I mean icons for audio, and similarly for a drummer track or a MIDI track. I'm just speaking from perspective of an audio track only. Now if I frankly found these quite irritating and, I don't know, childish, for a lack of better word. But at first my impression was, but when I dwelt into it, I did realize that these were really useful from a workflow perspective. So in a sense, if I have this track now, if I double click on this, I get this brilliant GUI. Now this is a controller surface, if you would like to call it, an effects controller surface. So you can assign various parameters. I'll take a look into a third-party effects. I feel that is much more important. The internal effects will work fine. Let's see how a Mag Q places against this. So already I've assigned the sub 40 low crossover, mid crossover from the mag EQ. So here if I change it, if I change the values, see, you can see this changing, which is pretty cool. And also the 40 hertz, 40 cycles. Yeah. Now, if I want to assign some different frequencies, I can easily do that here by, like, if I highlight this edit button and if I click on a control, you can see on the left here that it highlights that particular control. So I can go ahead, change it to airband, sub to an airband. Yep. And then highlight this, and the band you can see is, it's a shelving band in the mag EQ in this case. So from 2.5 to 40 I can easily switch. And similarly here in the C6 I can assign controls. I've already assigned the output gain, so I can highlight this, yeah, output gain, and also the band gain. So similarly, if I want to change in the C6, I can assign these, just highlight on the unmapped or and map it. Say C6, I would map mid crossover, linear attack, file solo, band Q, or band 1 gain. So I've assigned band 1 gain, and here I can highlight. But one thing is also there are 8 controls, and eight controls don't limit themselves to any like, you can assign 8 controls from any number of the plugins given in your inserts. So if I say want one parameter from the linear phase EQ, say if I highlight on this unmapped parameter, and this I want from a linear phase EQ, say a peak high shelf gain, yeah, high shelf gain. So if I now should highlight, yeah, so this is great. So I have 8 controls where I can assign any of the parameters of my inserts, any number of inserts, any number of processors in the inserts which I have given. And from a workflow point of first perspective, it's great. It's great for me because I can rename these. Say, suppose I have a mix of C6 and linear phase EQ, so I'll rename this as C6 plus, say, sorry, C6 shift plus LP. So it's C6 plus LP here. So I know that I've got the C6 and the high shelf gain of the LP also. So when I highlight, it will easily show me over here the linear phase EQ and the high shelf gain parameter, which I can adjust. This is great. I mean, it's alone worth for the price, which is already low, and it alone justifies the upgrade from my point of view, because your workflow becomes really easy with this. And also, yeah, this is pretty much it. So for this section, it's a great addition to the new Logic. Now let us take a look at the flex. I'll just not highlight it now. So I've taken a track already here, and I'm trying to highlight the flex, new flex features, the flex pitch. So if I highlight flex here, you get this brilliant now drop down menu of the flex. Here in the Logic X, they've given the flex pitch, monophonic slicing, polyphonic, and speed and tempo phone are already there in the 9, as you can see it here. Let me flex this track too. So in the flex mode, yeah, slicing, rhythmic, monophonic, tempo phone, and speed, they were the same in the X and 9. What they've added now is automatic. Now what automatic does is that judges a wave file now on its own, whether it's a mono file, it's a polyphonic file, or it's any kind of file, and does it for you automatically, which is great. I found it quite effective. And now flex pitch is the new addition. So here you have the flex pitch algorithm here, which I found to be very great. I won't dwell into the audio right now. You guys can test it on your various files, on your wave files. These are the various transients, rather, it has detected for the pitch. It's really good. It's really effective. So you can have some nice effects if you're mixing an electronic song, or maybe also producing an electronic song. And plain and simple, if you want to correct also the pitch of maybe a singer or something like that, so you can do from here. Now one thing they added is that this view. Now in this view, if we go and we see that these hot buttons: pitch, drift, fine pitch, and also you can move your pitch from the scale, and also move these buttons here. So if I can drift the pitch here, you can see these can create some really weird good effects also, and this can be useful in correction also, in very advanced pitch correction also. So in a way, I found this even better than the Melodyne, or the Antares, because it is built in into your sequencer, and you get such a powerful pitch manipulation tool, which is great. And you can there are various functions here: time quantize, strength, scale quantize, pitch correction, gain, and gain parameters. So yeah, this is dwelling very basically into the pitch correction. I love it already. I've given it on various tracks, used it for correcting wrong vocals, and also for some really good experimental effects. I find this really nice, really nice. Now, apart from this, one more thing I would like to add before signing off is the in the hood stuff which Logic X has added vis-a-vis the 9 is one of the things. I mean, I use this a lot. I love their compressor. So the compressor of the Logic X is here right now, and I will try and take a Logic 9 compressor also somewhere. Logic 9 compressor, and try and put them both together. Yeah. So let me have the background of Logic X here, and Logic 9 comp, Logic 9, Logic 9, Logic 9. So the Logic 9 comp, yeah. Now the Logic 9 and the Logic X comps, they look the same, basically same controls on the prima facie, but under it somewhere they've added some things which I found to be good. The models of the 9 were class AR, AU, VCA, FET, and Opto, and here they have given Studio VCA, Studio FET, Vintage VCA, Vintage FET, and Vintage Opto. Now, are these the same, different names for the same models, or were they really different? I tested against a few wave files, and they are really different. The Studio VCA is really nice on drums. It gives that tight sound to the drums without compromising any of the lows, and it's just really good. And Vintage FET I found to be really good on vocals. It's nice, soft, and also quite effective, very good sounding. And these two sound really different from each other now, compared to these, which were, most of it were rather pretty bad sounding effect, apart from the FET, which I used to use sometimes. But this is really nice, a very big step up from in the same compressor, keeping the same interface, but changing stuff like this under the hood. Not many of you will notice, so I thought that I'll put it to everyone's notice. Yeah. Now There are many more features in Logic X which I will dwell into later in my next sessions when I try and mix a song in Logic X also. So this is pretty much it from now, a very, very basic look of what I felt were the really important features as far as workflow is concerned. They've added in the Logic X from a sound engineer's point of view. So I'll keep on coming with more videos which will get into in-depth detail when I mix a few sessions and show it to you guys. So signing off for now. Thank you very much for listening.